It was torture to me. I was a regional manager at the time, and I hated it. It was like the worst job for someone who's ADD like me. But that's what I took for a while. And I didn't decide I was going to be an entrepreneur. I decided I wanted something different for my life.
You used it as a platform to share with people that were not in front of you where you were going, what you were doing.
That's exactly what I was doing.
And then it forced you, because of social pressure, to actually go and do it.
That's why I did it. I could have gone on my social media and said, showed all the people I'm interviewing today, and blah, blah, look at me and I'm doing this. That's not what I did this morning. You know what I did? I got inside my head in my vulnerable space, and like, I'm putting on a cute outfit today. I'm getting my hair and my makeup. Like, I'm gonna feel good. What does a 52-year-old woman need to hear? And I made a reel about being able to have long hair at 52 and dress the way that I want and still wear high heels and all that.
What if you went on there and said, hey guys, just want to let you know I have 1 million people on another page right now. I'm only going to talk.
No one cares.
Okay, so why did that work?
Why did the 11 work? Or the 11 work because it's real and it's authentic, and people care and it's vulnerable and they want to help. People want to help. This is really, really, I know you know this and teach this, but this is really important to not only remember, just to own and do. All right, everybody, welcome back to another incredible episode of Average Sucks, the Average Sucks Show. Super excited you're here today. And our guest today, this is going to be really fun because there's a lot of questions that I'm excited to ask. And what's exciting about this is imagine your business. Imagine being able to build an organic brand. What I mean by that is I know a lot of us do marketing, different things, but imagine taking the challenges that you have in your life and turning them into opportunity, taking the things that are in front of you and boom, turning them into a following, becoming an influencer, and also really honing in on who your market absolutely is. So you could talk to the people you want to talk about things you want to talk about, and make a difference in people's lives. So a good friend of mine, I don't always use the word friend, I'm going to say a teammate of mine on making a difference in the world, Natalie Jill, is here today. And her real strength is really talking to an incredible group of people that are dealing with midlife right now, with their families, with their relationships, with their kids, with their economics, what's going on in their life. And she is a master of building an organic brand. She's got an incredible show out there, and it's really about speaking to midlife conversations, what we're dealing with. And I asked her prior to the show, my midlife? She goes, yep, over 40s, midlife. So here's the deal. It's about making your life absolutely incredible, learning how to be an incredible person with organic marketing online. And also you're going to get some tips because she is an expert at fat loss, keeping your body looking great no matter where it is in your lifespan of what's going on and whatever your fitness is. So Natalie, I'm excited you're here today. We're going to have, you like that intro? I love that intro. I need you to intro me everywhere. Yeah. That was amazing.
We've been waiting to do this show. So I got to tell you, I did a episode with you prior to 2020. I call it the year that the world got weird. I don't use the C word or the P word. I want to welcome you to the show today.
Thank you.
And really, I want to pick your brain. This is selfish today because you've got something that I'm working on.
Yeah, let's
do it.
My
organic stuff, and also you're really great at pinpointing your market. So I want to pick your brain a little bit. So talking about this, I met you originally in 2018 with Allison Maslin.
Yeah, I love that you even remember that exact date.
Yeah, we were outside. My wife and I were there. You were there. You were at a War Room event. Mm-hmm. We were outside. There was a wine thing. I don't drink, but there was a wine thing outside, the Salmonier. Do you remember this?
Yep.
Outside Pelican Hill, right?
I was with my friend Lori Taylor.
Lori,
That's
okay,
right.
Got it. I think Allison was there as well.
Yep, she was.
And you came to the event, and everyone's like, you guys need to meet. And then we met once or twice. I think JJ said we needed to talk at some point afterwards. And then boom, we meet right as 2020 happens, and then the world just shifts.
That's right.
So I meet you, you're like this fitness influencer extraordinaire, and now you're still doing that, but you're speaking to a group of people about what's going on in their life. That's not the part I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk about how on earth did you go from being in the corporate world and crushing it in sales to becoming an entrepreneur. I want to start about that to start with.
Let's do it. Well, it started by accident. I will say that, which may not be
accident
the answer you
or
wanted.
Choice? Yeah.
Well, it really was an accident. Let me explain. So I was in corporate America for years, and I was crushing it.
Who were you working with?
I worked for a company called Biomet 3i was the last company I was
were
with.
You
medical device.
Like Pursuit of Happiness? You were walking around like the little
kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I was always in medical device. I did sales, and then I became a national sales director, a sales trainer. That was what I did, and I was in corporate, and that's all I knew. I didn't understand entrepreneur world at all. But what happened was in 2007, 2008, I was a completely different person than I am today. That, if you remember what was going on then, the housing market had tanked.
Yep. Were you involved? Are you investing? Or
no, I was married, pregnant.
had the picket fence.
I can't relate to being pregnant.
Yeah,
yes.
picket fence, house, the whole thing. The lab dog, thinking my life was perfect. And
Lab dog or lap dog?
Lab dog.
Okay, you said lab.
Labrador.
Labrador. I thought you were in medical sales, like a
No.
lab dog, like you built them in a lab.
I had
Okay.
I did what you're supposed to do. I went to college, I had the job, I got married, I was pregnant with first kid on the way, the 2 dogs, the house, and my whole world was falling apart. What was going on, what people didn't know about me then was when I gained 60 pounds when I was pregnant. I'm only 5'2".
The pregnancy is 60
Yeah,
pounds.
60 pounds, but the baby
Is
weighed 6 pounds.
What are you supposed to?
Yeah, well, the baby weighed 6. The placenta did not weigh 54. So I gained a lot of weight when I was pregnant from eating McDonald's and being depressed. And I was depressed because I was getting a divorce, because I was losing my house. I was backwards on my house. And I knew I was going to now be a single mom, which was going to be an issue for my job, which required full-time travel. So I knew I wasn't going to have that either. And for the first time in my life ever, I was facing depression. And I had never experienced that before.
Wow.
Now, the interesting thing about that is I look back now, I was living such a fake life. When we're not authentic, I think things like that are bound to happen. And to the outside world, I look like I had this perfect life. She's got this great job. She's got this house. She's married. But I was dying inside. It was super fake. So what made matters worse is I felt like I had no one to talk to about it all. My life was falling apart. I was losing my house. I was about to be a single mom, and I didn't know what to do about it. But everything changed for me in a day when I went to go put gas in my car. And my credit card was declined. And now I had never been in debt in my entire life. And in fact, I had an attitude about debt. Like, how do people get into, like, I didn't understand how that would happen. And I remember calling American Express from my car and saying, why did you cut my card off? And they said, well, you are $1.4 million in debt. Yeah.
So they knew your debt. Was that debt to them?
It was
debt overall? Because they what people don't know is the credit card companies all have a deal with each other. Like if you don't pay Citibank tells Amex.
Right. So,
most people don't know there's a connection there.
So what happened to me is I had gotten backward on my house, like a lot of people did, and I had made a decision to survive. That I was gonna, after trying to renegotiate my mortgage, that I was gonna stop paying my mortgage.
That's smart.
Just because.
Would you go one of those seminars where you said you don't really owe your mortgage?
I just had to figure out something. I didn't know what to do. I was going to stop paying it. I figured worst case I would short sale or foreclose. I had to figure out a way to feed my daughter and take action here. And what I didn't connect the dots with was the second you do that, you're 30 days late on your mortgage. That's all on your credit too.
Yep.
So it was a rock bottom space for me. And I remember being, there was about 4 months where I didn't want to get out of bed. I just felt like a loser. I mean, and literally all I had working for my life was that I was going to be, and I had a newborn. I had a new baby. And that was the only thing I felt good about in life. And everything else, I just felt like a failure. And I was in my mid-30s at the time, just thinking I'm a failure. And I had this loop in my brain.
You're still overweight.
Yeah, it was just, you're a failure, you're a loser. How did you get yourself in this situation? And everything changed for me in a moment. It was truly a moment when I was in this self-beat up of, I'm a loser, to turning on the TV and seeing Oprah and Lisa Nichols one day.
It's so weird because I got the Oprah water bottle here. That's funny.
They were on there. She was interviewing Lisa Nichols, and Lisa was speaking into vision and possibility. And something hit me in that conversation of what if there's something else? It was just a question. Like, what if there's something else? And when I asked myself that question, everything I had taught in sales sort of came back to me. That if I could focus on what I wanted, on the possibility versus the problem, maybe my life could change. So in that moment, I decided that I was going to start shifting on creating a new version of myself.
So instantaneously, you're telling me, okay, so people say it happened in a second.
Yeah.
And it looks like a second years later. So
yes.
Did you know it at that moment? Like everything's changing right now and God came down and spoke to you?
Yeah.
And
honestly,
the freaking Nile, like the Red Sea parted and all that stuff. Like,
yeah, there's 3 distinct moments. The gas station, there was catching myself that same week, like looking in a window that had a mirror reflection and noticing that that's not who I wanted to be, and then turning on that TV. And I remember those really clearly, the way I would remember 9/11 or the way I remember significant events.
Peak emotional experience.
Yeah, I really remember those. And in that TV moment, I changed. Something in me switched and changed. I decided, and I always tell people deciding comes first, but I made a decision right then that I was going to start focusing on what do I want versus what is.
Interesting. Okay, so what did you want?
What I wanted was to not feel that way. What I wanted was to be happy again. What I wanted was to be fit. What I wanted to be was an example for my daughter. What I wanted to be was successful again and in a relationship that would work. I wanted all this, my brain kept going to why I couldn't have that because of all the circumstances that were right in front of me.
Because you had evidence.
Yeah.
You had evidence of failing. So
kinds of
you
it.
said you wanted this. So let's just say, like, this is interesting because there's even people watching this right now. They work with a company. They'd love to be an entrepreneur. You're in that part. Like, you still don't see yourself as an entrepreneur, correct?
Not at this point.
Because
No.
this is a very, I don't think anyone's ever asked you
No.
this. There's because we hire people a lot of times. We want them to think entrepreneurially, right?
Sure.
We don't have to fully convert them to be an entrepreneur, but everybody in our team, including you've met the crew, everybody thinks like an entrepreneur at some level in their life.
That's right.
So how did you go from like, I'm actually gonna do
Yeah.
this? I want to talk about that because
That's great.
It's an interesting moment. Like, so you're working for someone else, getting some jobs, doing some stuff, medical sales.
So I took a voluntary job demotion because I had to not travel, and that was really depressing.
That's so
to me.
cute how you
Yeah.
marketed that to yourself. A voluntary. Basically, I took less pay.
I took a voluntary
less
job
pay because I
demotion.
needed more
Yes.
time.
It was torture to me. I was a regional manager at the time and I hated it. It was like the worst job for someone
Yep.
who's ADD like me. But that's what I took for a while. And I didn't decide I was going to be an entrepreneur. I decided I wanted something different for my life. Now, what I did do, because
Interesting pivotal step in between. I don't like where I'm at. I want something different.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
pretty normal steps.
So Facebook had just been born at the time. So this is Facebook had just started. And
So you started dating Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went on Facebook with my 100 high school friends.
Okay.
And because I didn't have anyone real I could talk to, like anyone out in the real world that I could say, hey, I'm depressed. This is going on in my life. Because I built up this fake life. I looked like a different version of myself. And I was embarrassed by it. But I went on Facebook and I remember sharing, hey, this is where I am right now in my life. And I'm going to work on a different version of myself. And I'm going to be sharing here what I'm doing as far as eating and nutrition and workouts, because that's the one thing I can control. And if you want to follow my journey.
I got to stop you real quick because I have the ADD
Yeah.
brain as well. I want to take something apart here real quick. So
Yeah.
I believe this will help a lot of people. You used Facebook to manufacture where you really want to go
Yes.
and actually did it.
Yes.
I want to say that one more time so make sure I get this. It's only Facebook if you don't do it.
That's right.
You actually used Facebook for something very positive.
Yes.
You used it as a platform to share with people that were not in front of you where you were going, what you were doing.
That's exactly
And
what I
then
was
it
doing.
forced you, because of social pressure, to actually go and do it.
That's why I did it. Because if you tell somebody your declaration, if you tell them your decision, you're likely to follow through on
Did
it.
you know that you were doing that at that moment?
I think subconsciously I knew how to achieve goals. That's always been a strength of mine. But I was so caught up in my circumstances. And I tell people this all the time. You have to get past our circumstances and look at possibility. I was myself caught up in my circumstances, and I knew to get into possibility, I had to start focusing on a different version, and I had to share that version.
Okay, so you played pretend. I just want to be really clear on this. You played pretend, and then you acted out what you were playing, and it became reality.
Yeah, well, kind of played pretend, because I shared where I was.
I got it. But what I'm saying is you wanted something different.
Yes, and
you talked about where you were going.
I acted as if.
And you actually convinced people that you were going to do it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you did it.
Yes,
Which is, if we do the follow-up part, anyone can do that online.
that's right.
Wow. So your best part of you showed up online.
That's right. So, and what I would have to do each day is I call them a decision board. You've heard of a vision board. I call them a decision board. I had made my own decision board, and I used to stare at that every day and say, if I was the girl living in that board, what would I do today? What would I eat today? What would I listen to? How would I move my body? What would I do? And I would share this on Facebook. Literally, I would go and say, I was the original what I'm eating poster. Like, this was my lunch.
You were the first person to take pictures. Now you
Probably.
can't eat a meal without first put it on the camera.
I know. But I was doing that.
You invented Instagram.
But where the sales hat kicked in, because I didn't go on Facebook saying I'm going to start a business. That was not what happened. What happened was I went on there to connect with people and share, and it was super authentic to people. So they were relating and joining in. And the way that I do sales is very authentic and real. I'm communicating with people, and they're following me, and I'm answering their questions, and I'm bringing them on my journey. So as I started sharing my food and my body started changing, I started setting more public goals. Like, hey, I'm going to be a fitness model. When I was doing this, I was in my mid-30s. That was unheard of, to be a fitness model. Like, people giggle at that. But I said, I'm getting fit. I'm going to be on the cover of magazines. This is what's going to happen. And I declared this. I shared it on Facebook.
Did you do it?
I did it. I was on 14 magazine covers in my 40s, in my late 40s, all the way up to my late 40s.
We'll have to get a copy of these on all that right here. Put this right here on the show right now.
Yeah, so I did it because I declared that I was going to do it. Now, the way the business started was people were very curious about what I was eating. And I remember somebody saying, and they're saying, what are you eating? How are you getting fit? What are you doing? And so I, with my BlackBerry phone, because I didn't know how to do anything technical, was taking pictures of my weird food, with my BlackBerry. I made a Word document, turned it into a PDF, and made my first ebook. I had to Google what an ebook was.
Wow.
And I sold it for $10 originally and then $12. I didn't know anything about sales pages well, that started, we would sell like maybe 4 or 5 a day. It was like, it started
40,
slowly.
50 bucks a day back 20 something years ago.
It was, but this is what happened. People started asking, well, how are you putting these recipes together? How are you doing that to change your body? Like, you're giving us these great recipes, but how are you doing it to change your body? So I sat down in a weekend and I wrote what's called 7-Day Jumpstart, which fast forward is now a best-selling book in stores, but I wrote it in a weekend originally. And I wrote it as a 12-page ebook. And in fact, at the time I started dating my now husband, and I remember asking him, will you proofread this? Will you look at it? And
he's good at that.
Yeah. He's like, people, like, what's special about this? Like, obviously, because I just believed it was special. Like, there was nothing special. I believed it was special. It worked for me. So I made this ebook, I put it online, and I said, I'm selling this for $35. I didn't even proofread it. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. People would send me a PayPal for $35, and I would message them back the file. That's literally how my business started.
So do you tell the people out there right now that have a good idea, a good concept, would you say, like, get that C product to marketplace?
Just do it.
Who cares if it's perfect?
Who cares if it's perfect? That one ebook made us millions of dollars. It turned into millions of dollars. And literally because I got it out there, it was not perfect. In fact, I had people making fun of it at some point. Like most people would love it and go, oh my gosh, I lost 5-7 pounds. This is incredible. Then you'd have the one person going, hey, could you proofread your stuff? Or like, what is this? So, and then I love when those people do that. Yeah.
You know what I realized? They got nothing going on.
That's right.
If they would put that effort into their diet, they'd be in great shape.
But what happened was so crazy because people were getting such results. They would message me back on Facebook and say, Natalie, this little 12-page book changed my whole life. Like, I lost 5 pounds. I lost 7 pounds. I have my energy back. And I would say, can I share this with others? It's so motivating. They would say yes. I'd share it. And I'd say, Michael lost 7 pounds. Look what he just sent me. Who is next? And it spread like wildfire.
So let me get this correct. You didn't buy Facebook ads.
I did not buy Facebook ads.
You basically shared what you were doing that was working.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep. I didn't even have a sales page.
Then announced it was working for others.
Yes.
And then people wanted it to work for them.
Yes.
And that was your whole marketing plan.
That was my whole marketing plan.
And you sold millions of these.
Yes. And in fact, my husband helped me automate it because we were out to dinner and we would get notifications for sales. And he was my boyfriend at the time.
So fun being at dinner.
Yeah. And it like people, it was fine at first, but then people were annoyed. Like, this is kind of ghetto. Like, what's going on? Like, I paid your $35. Where's my book? So he had researched how to automate it and all that. And we started really grassroots. But I remember marketing people would send us, how they can help us build a sales page. And we were like, what? No, that's cheesy. We literally didn't even have a sales page. We just were sharing information and getting it out there and helping people.
Because that's what social media is.
Yes.
It's not. I truly believe like there's like the spiritual platform to social media.
Okay.
Anything made and you conjure up a great idea never works.
That's right.
What I mean by that is anything authentic. Like we shot some stuff in the lobby later. That's gonna go. People are gonna love that because I truly believe if you're in a bad mood, like and you're recording in a bad mood or you're not feeling good, your video doesn't do good.
No, it's not going to work.
But if you're like literally are sitting there, hey guys, I'm at the airport right now. I was just thinking about you. Look at the oatmeal they have here at the airport.
Right.
This is so much sugar. It's so bad for you. This will kill you. That video will blow up.
If it's real. If it's real.
But so the stuff that doesn't work, do you think a lot of people are spending time trying to be you versus be themselves?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Let's go deep on this because people I want you to say some of the stuff I say, but you need to be you with my material.
So kind of a funny story here. When I finally did have a correct sales page for 7-Day Jumpstart, which by the way is way more than a 12-page ebook now. It's a best-selling book in stores and it's taken its own life there. It's grown its own life.
You still selling it?
Yes.
We'll get the link down below.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put the link in.
That book, I had a proper sales page eventually with telling my story and my journey on there. Somebody was commented on one of my posts one day from another page called 7-Day Jumpstart. And I'll never forget that. So I clicked on her page. I'm thinking, what is this? Went to her sales page. She had transcribed my whole video and remade a sales page and video as herself with my story, telling it as her story, selling a fake product of mine.
The ultimate compliment.
Yeah, and I remember at the time, like, really panicking. And I mean, I remember going up to my husband, like, we need an attorney, and what is stopping this? I now know later, obviously, that that's not going to work for somebody because it's not real and it's not authentic. But yes, that started happening, and it still happens today. I think I always get a kick out of people trying to copy my stuff because you can copy somebody's sales letters and all the things. It's not going to work if you don't have all of the truth behind you.
Yeah. So that's what I love about it. So I want to really go deep on a couple things right now. You're marketing right now, marketing or sharing. Let's use a better word, sharing. You're sharing with people in a very interesting bracket, like midlife people, because you understand them. That's where we're at, even though my wife says women live till 29, live there permanently,
now
right?
I share,
But it's what we share now. And what's interesting about it is What made you pick that market? I'm just going to ask you that question, and then I'm going to really dive deep on something that I believe that you do consulting wise to help some people.
So I was not a fitness or fat loss expert at all, which was funny, but I had created this product and gotten my credentials. I became a trainer and a licensed master sports nutritionist and all that because I was learning, and I was learning for myself, and I was educating. But I kept responding to the audience. So once I had 7 Day Jumpstart, people would say, well, how do you put workouts together? So next thing you know, I hired the best of the best to learn how to teach workout videos. And I hired Tammy Lee Webb, and I produced workout videos that did really well. And I sold DVDs, and but when people were still buying DVDs, everything I
still
sold,
got my Beachbody DVDs.
everything I sold and created, it was because it came from a need first. My audience would say, I want this is next. I would then learn and master the skill. I would teach it back and share it, and that's how I grew.
You gave them what they wanted.
I gave them exactly what they wanted. I never had this grand plan of like, I'm creating this product and then thinking backwards how I'm going to sell it. It was always the other way around. It was always, this is what they need. This is what they want. How can I offer the best solution for them based on what they're asking for? So that being said, I had started this in my late 30s, early 40s. This is growing. Things started changing in my mid 40s. All of a sudden, I wasn't the broke, overweight single mom anymore. That wasn't my story anymore. And I was starting to navigate other midlife issues, getting injured, things changing. So for a while, I thought, maybe I don't want to be in fitness or nutrition. Maybe that's just not my path. And I actually stepped back from it for a while. But what I learned was the things that I'm walking through in midlife now are also, just like I said, things that people want to lean into. So as soon as I accepted that and I came back even stronger with midlife conversations, and my audience started tripling.
Interesting. So do you believe that your audience matured with you?
Yes.
Meaning like, okay, so that's a marketing lesson right there.
Yes.
You met them in their 30s where, like I always tell people, like you meet someone at a bar, right?
Right.
And one day someone gets sober and then another one doesn't, like the relationship breaks up. But you met a group of human beings in their 30s, correct?
Yes.
28, 35.
Being the new mom.
New mom. To like, I got a teenager now.
That's right.
So the big chunk of your audience matured.
But here's what happened that's really wild for your listeners to know. My business grew fast and then it tanked, and now it's growing again. The reason it tanked is I got away from the roots of being authentic. Oof. Instead of continuing what I know and say, I'm going to keep leaning in and sharing my real journey, I got ahead and I said, I got to hire all these people, and other people know marketing better than me, and someone else is going to write my copy. And I lost a lot of my audience. So what's interesting is when I came back with midlife conversations and really sharing what I've been walking through with injuries and all of that, people said, I followed you years ago and now I found you again.
Because you found them.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
You found them again because you started having the conversation.
Yes.
So it's like a frequency you're putting out there, not to sound all Sedona-ish.
But just turning it over to the marketing team and the copywriters, that tanks my business.
Has that ever really worked for anything?
It's never worked for me. Never
neither.
Once.
Because I think you're like an organic brand like we are. We're a very organic, I want to talk about that right now because we got a lot of people watching this that do. Our students are amazing. The people that listen to our stuff, they own gyms, they own auto shops, they own hair salons, they're dojos, they're successful business owners, they own marketing firms. They love what they do and they're phenomenal at what they do. And they make millions of dollars doing it. They're very successful. They also have hired every Tom, Dick, and Harry marketing agency in the world that could do something else. So let's talk organic right now, because I do believe those agencies can help you if you give them the right plan.
Yes.
Help me do more of what I'm doing, not change my plan.
We just stay in our unique ability too. As soon as we my unique ability is communicating with my audience. As soon as I try to turn that over to somebody else to do that, that's not going to work.
No, because it's not you anymore. So let's just pretend it's Sunday night. You're going to go into Monday. You know that you've got to talk with your audience. So is your job communicating with your audience?
My job now, it's funny that you asked. It feels funny even saying this because it doesn't feel like a job, but I literally share what I'm walking through and how that's going to help them.
Okay. So you share what you're doing, not like sharing your vacation, but it's got a little bit of a twist always if you're on vacation. So it's Monday. Monday rolls around, and let's use us as an example, like or a guy that owns a shop or something like that. It's Monday. How do you easily and effectively just get this ball started communicating and using this substance called social media, or this strategy called social media? How does a person just get started?
You just be you. Let me explain what I mean.
All right, I want to break in here real quick and remind you that motivation and mindset do not happen by accident. They happen by choice. They happen by decision. And why not start off the week in the most incredible way with an incredible Monday mindset that you can activate in less than 90 seconds? Go to michaelbernoff.com/Monday Mindset
and you'll get access to our quick 90-second emails and videos that we will send every single Monday to activate your mindset in business and personal and every aspect of your life so you can guarantee to live an above average life. michaelbernoff.com/Monday Mindset. Get your access today.
Just to give you an example of what not to do and what to do. So today I have a line of interviews with some amazing people today. So
you
including
posted
you.
it on your wall.
Yeah. No, I could have gone on social media. This is what a lot of influencers would do. I could have gone on my social media and said, showed all the people I'm interviewing today and look at me and I'm doing this. That's not what I did this morning. You know what I did? I got inside my head in my vulnerable space and like, I'm putting on a cute outfit today. I'm getting my hair and my makeup. Like I'm gonna feel good. What does a 52-year-old woman need to hear? And I made a reel about being able to have long hair at 52 and dress the way that I want and still wear high heels and all of that. I said, I'm going into my stuff today, but I spoke into what a 52-year-old woman needs to hear. They don't need to hear about all the interviews I'm doing today. That doesn't mean anything to them. Now, what means to them is what I'm actually navigating and how that pertains to them. So I shared that. Will I share about the interviews? Of course, but it's in a different space. It's not in the bragging of like, what am I doing?
Let's talk about that for a second because this is really important. I want to make sure everybody understands this. There's growth and there's connection. Which are you more passionate about?
Connection.
Okay. So when you go, I'm meeting with blah, blah, blah today, you might hashtag them, them, connect with them, and pick up some followers and stuff.
Yes.
That's one way.
Yeah.
Nothing against that, is there?
No, it's more of an ego thing, I think.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's why I don't have trouble with that.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
I don't
more
want
of an
anyone to know
ego.
what I'm up to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I want to share people I'm interviewing with. I want to share all that with my audience, but it just needs to come from a different place versus a bragging place.
So then you talked how cool it is to do your hair today, which connects more with them.
Yes.
So you actually gave them what they wanted,
Yes.
not what you wanted to tell them.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say I hire you as a consultant and I ask you to help me with because you do organic, you help people with organic marketing.
I do.
So let's help us with this. So what is our version of that? Because if you were to interview me, I would call you out on this as well. So what would I do this morning knowing you were coming?
Well, I'd have a lot more questions before that, but I would have to understand more about the first question I would ask a client, the first question I would ask you is I would want to go deeper and understand your avatar. And that would probably be quite a deep conversation of me understanding who is your actual person that you're reaching and talking to? What do they like? What do they follow? What do they believe in? And I would want to understand that. And then I'd want to know why you are the relatable person for that. And then I would get into looking at content. It wouldn't be the other way around. It would not be me going through all of your content and saying that. I'd want to know, who are you trying to get into their heart? Who are you connecting with? What are the problems that they navigate? What are their struggles? What are they spending their time? What do they need to hear today?
Okay, so let's just say I said our students we work with are entrepreneurs. They're people that know that they're capable of more than they're doing. There's nothing wrong in their life at all. They got little challenge stuff going on, but they're tough. They can get through anything. You might relate to this kind of person. You're probably this, right? And they're doing well. There's nothing wrong, but they know that they're capable of more than they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's typically someone in their mid to later 30s up to, wherever, like in their 60s. They're very similar to who your audience is that you work with. What would you share about your life, or would I share about my life that would make a difference? Like I come up with them from time to time. Sometimes they hit a home run. What would be like the checkoff box to really share?
So I
don't go into the Gary V thing where I start like, I was just with this guy this week, or go look at my yacht. If I'm on a yacht, the last thing I want to do is post.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's coming up for me about what you just said, and this is a quick conversation about it, is I would, for you, think it actually is less about you and more about case studies. So it'd be more about people that you've helped, and because your gift is coaching and really having people have a different reframe of things. So to me, I would think your audience would want to see more of that, more of you coaching, more these wins of you, like when we were talking earlier today and you shifted me. Your audience would want to see more of that because they're going to have more aha moments.
Got it. So that's what you'd recommend in my world.
Yeah.
Now, just because you mentioned that to me doesn't mean the guy that owns a tennis, I don't know anyone owns
Everyone's unique.
Okay.
That's the thing. There's not a one cookie cutter way. That's what everyone is unique. You can't look at someone's social media and say, I should be doing that. It doesn't work that way. The reason social media accounts do well is they're very unique if you look at them. They're real. It's not that hard to be unique. You're just yourself because nobody else can be you.
Yes.
When you're just yourself and you focus on your gift, that's what works.
Got it. And that's like my biggest gift out there is one-on-one one-on-one conversations or
Yes.
group conversations. It's not me keynote speaking. It's not.
That's
it's
right.
people throwing random shit at me and me solving it.
Yes.
That's
what I see.
That is my gift.
And then the other thing with social media is to like I do a lot of things. I help people with business and sales. I help people with social media. I also help people with fat loss but my social media is very focused on midlife conversations. I don't mix and match because that's too confusing for people. That's confusing.
You've got your daughter involved too.
Yeah, because my midlife community has teenage kids, so they've got I anything that goes on my social media has to do with my actual audience that's right there. If I'm talking to sales clients and things like that, that's a whole different thing. I don't use my social media. I don't personally use that social media for that.
Got it. Okay, so where are you going with this? So like let's say,
Yeah.
what is your ultimate plan with midlife conversations? What's the
So,
plan? Because it's a market.
Yeah.
And it is the group of people that grew up without social media
So
and
I
that
could-
have kids that could teach them how to
That's
use
right.
it.
That's
Where are we
right.
going with this group?
That's right. I should have the exact perfect
No.
vision to say, but unfortunately, I'm going to say my ADHD answer because I really do go with the flow, and I know.
Just puke it out.
Yeah, I know where I'm headed. I know that I want to help midlife people know that this is not the end of their world. I don't believe that things end, things have to get harder, things have to be all downhill, any of that. So as I'm walking through things, I'm literally being an example for that and sharing that and helping others walk through that. What I hear from my audience and from people on my podcast and in my social is they feel like I'm their best friend. They feel like I'm someone that gets them. They feel like I'm someone that can help them be a better person, that helps bring them along to another level. So where am I actually going with that? And what do I have? I can't give you an exact answer for that because I don't know what's ahead for me either. But I know that I feel called to really help meet people where they are and help them get better. I've done that with women from the beginning of times. I've done that. I did that back when I was in sales. It was always meet people where they are and help them level up and get better. That's what I do.
So you're a support role.
I am a support role.
So you believe that there's people that log onto you, watch your content, and they find you online to support them and where they're at in their journey.
It helps them. They'll go to my podcast for answers. They'll go to my social media to feel better about their age. I put a lot of comedy out there because I make fun of the stuff that we walk through with aging too.
Do you think that stuff through? So like a lot of people, they ask like, okay, I gotta get the perfect post, and they start taking it
hate all
apart. They
that.
go to all the events, and it's like, I mean, we hear a lot in common.
I think it's
with
all
this.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I do too. I think
Yeah.
anytime I've ever, our team knows this, anytime I've ever attempted to do anything that anyone else has done that was a hack,
Yeah.
it's backfired. Or it
doesn't
got me
work.
the people I don't want,
No,
and
it
it
doesn't
got me the
work.
wrong thing. So let's just talk about your process of before. What is the mindset before you go in and shoot something, and how long does it take you? So I watched some really great videos of yours, you and your daughter, like they're funny. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
I've watched even just recently you guys going on a drive where you almost died. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've seen like a lot of people think it's going to take 8 years when the red light turns on the camera, the brain turns off. Like, first off, how long does it take you to shoot a 7-minute video
Yeah.
and get it up? That's the first question I want to ask, or a 3-minute video or a 90-second
Okay.
video. That's first question. Number two is like, what is your thinking process going into that? Like, are you planning the night before? Are you jotting it down on paper? Is it just literally whip out the phone?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
walk
going
me
to give
through
you
this.
two different answers
Yeah.
because people are not going to like the way that I do it for me. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the way that I would suggest then. So I've done both.
Why don't you first give us your way?
Okay, my way is honestly, it's whatever's hot in the moment. Like literally when the idea sparks, my ADD, like when I have the idea, that's when I need to record it. Like when it comes to me, I record it. And people won't understand that around me.
How many takes?
One take.
Okay, so you're saying you're walking down the street,
I
you
have
come
an
up with an
idea,
idea,
I do it.
you're at the fruit stand at some little farmer's market, you shoot something
Yes.
about life and cannot believe I'm doing this on a Saturday.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
And I have to do it right then, Michael. It's like it's a weird thing. Like I can't, like sometimes my husband will be like, well, just write it down and let's do it later. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I
If
said
it's
it
my
to you
idea
prior
now,
to the show. Let's talk about it right now because tell me the story for real the first time.
yeah, like it's when it's fresh in my brain and it's a creative idea, that's when it's going to do the best.
So let's do great.
That does great.
So that's okay. So that's where people can get to.
Yeah.
That's not
what
where
they
we
can get to.
start.
Not everyone's that. But how I originally did content and how I actually would tell clients that are stressed about that method to do it is I would batch content. And the way that I would do it is I would come up with what are the topics that are really going to resonate with my audience. What do they want? You can poll people. If your audience is 10, ask them what do they want to learn from you.
Okay, give me an example of what you mean by a poll because some people
So-
put up a silly little poll online. Give me an example of what.
The poll is taking your camera and
Yep.
saying, hey guys, I know I haven't been on here much at all, and I'm a little nervous about doing this. In fact, I feel uncomfortable doing this. But tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yes. Say it one more time. Tell what?
Tell the
truth. Yeah.
Say I'm a little nervous. I don't even like. I'm distracted how I look. Whatever's coming to your mind, say it. But hold it selfie style and say, what I'm really good at is whatever it is. I'm really good at helping women lose weight, or I'm really good at helping people with copywriting. I'm really good with whatever it is. And I would like to start sharing that. I'm curious, what would you want to learn from me? Or would this resonate with you? Or just ask people, what do they want to learn from you? If you don't even have the 10 people to ask on social, ask your friends. Say, you've known me, I'm good at, what do you think you'd want to learn from me?
What do you expect
people.
as a response for that? Like, so let's just say I'm sitting here and my insecurity comes out, not me personally, but just say I'm a person. I'm like, man, I only got like 500 people on Facebook or like 50 on Instagram or 150. What should we expect response-wise? Like, what is the, oh my God, that's amazing, I get all my answers, to like,
it depends on how you ask
What
it.
would my mom get?
Yes.
My mom has 11 friends.
If your mom were to go on and say, hey, I know I'm talking to just 11 of you, and this feels really embarrassing because there's literally 11 of you. So I'm hoping all 11 of you will respond to me because this is feeling awkward.
Really good.
I'm really wanting an honest opinion. Like, what do you think I add value in, or what would you like to learn from me?
And maybe get 2-3 responses?
I think you get all 11, honestly, if you said it to 11 people.
Because you were honest.
Because you're honest.
What if you went on there and said, hey guys, just want to let you know I have 1 million people on another page right now and only going to talk.
No one cares.
Okay, so why did that work?
Why did the 11 work? Or the 11 work because it's real and it's authentic and people care and it's vulnerable and they want to help. People want to help.
This is really, really, I know you know this and teach this, but this is really important to not only remember, just to own and do. So you're saying, call it what it is. You're shy, you're nervous, you're scared. I know nothing about it. I've never done this before. I just bought this phone.
That's right.
But don't say that if it's not true.
No, you can't pretend.
If you're not scared, don't say you're scared.
Yes, it has to be true. And you'll know, like, this is going to sound, and this sounds funny too, as somebody who loves hair and makeup and all the things, like I like fashion and all the things, but the worse we look sometimes, the more people are going to want to watch you too. People don't want perfection. So they see someone like completely polished and professional and all the things, that feels distracting. But raw and real, you're holding your selfie camera and just talking, like, that works. People want to root for you. They vote for you. They want more. It's reality.
Wow. So it's our insecurity that's truly
diminishing
people's social media.
Yes.
So, okay. So let's go back a step. And you basically said, in a perfect world, just get out there, shoot your camera.
Yes.
You said for the other folks.
So the other folks, you could batch content. And the way that I used to do it, and I still will do it sometimes, and it's really an effective way that I've told clients to do it, is you come up with your 10 topics, whether you've gotten them from somebody else or you know what you're good at. And honestly, some of the best content is the same content over and over again told a different way. So pick the topics that you love, you feel passionate about. The key is you have to feel passionate about it. You have to know that it can help somebody. And you have to have a relatable story as to why you know it can help somebody. So those are the components. If you have that, then record. What I would say is start with, like, you can pick any platform works, but what I used to do is I'd record YouTube, and I would record 10 YouTube videos. I'd have people come and record it, 10 YouTubes, and from those YouTube videos, I would then take parts of that to put on other social. Is that the ideal way? No. But will it work? Sure. As long as it's coming from that original frame of, this is something I'm actually really good at, this is something that could help somebody, I have a real story of why this works for people.
Okay. So the number one strategy in social media is you have to truly just be real.
You have to be real.
And the closer you are to whipping out a camera or a fancy camera, it doesn't matter. Just the closer you are to a unedited version of you. You can edit and put cool stuff on it, right? But the most unedited of the actual original take is most valuable.
That's what I think. Yes.
Okay. Do you think, or we know this is
true?
No.
I
want to give something to work towards.
I know it to be true. Now, am I the best in the world of social media? No, I'm not going to say that. Has it helped me grow a lot of people into my world and help me live a good life from all of it? Yeah. It helped me connect and meet so many amazing people. Yes. So for me, that's worked. So can I say it's the end all be all? No, but I can tell you, I can look at anyone's social media and instantly see why it's working or why it's not working. And a common thread is this realness.
So when you say someone's not being real, like what do you see?
It means they're not sharing a real story. They're just trying to be somebody. They're trying to be a marketer. They're trying to be what they think others want to see. I see this all the time with fitness accounts. Like, they just...
Let's not use a name, but let's call somebody out one you've seen recently. Let's take anything you've seen. So, like, you don't have to say a name unless you want to.
I had a client come through my programs, and she wanted to understand why she couldn't reach and help more women with fitness. Like, she's like, I came to you because you do that, and you have a lot of women with fitness. And I asked her who her audience was, and she said, same as mine. She said, midlife women. And I said, okay, how do they feel? And she said, well, they're a little bit insecure. They don't feel good. So I looked at her social media and it had her posed in a thong, on the stage. I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you.
That doesn't make women feel
right.
good.
The midlife woman scrolling your page, does that make them feel empowered or does that make them hate you? And she had never thought of it that way because she was concerned with how she looks and how I need to look perfect and have the perfect butt and all the things, but that doesn't do anything for the woman watching it.
Got it. Okay, so where does sales and marketing come into this? So let's have that. So okay, I know people with big old pages. First off, you've married the most beautiful. I'm not talking about him. Does that make sense? But you've married the most beautiful thing of social real content with eventually people will enroll in your ideas and stuff. Let's talk about that transition right now of like, okay, so let's just say I get real, I start sharing about my life.
Yep.
I talk about all that, because I realized if I wanted to go after like a group of people that were dads with daughters, does that make sense?
Right, of course.
That are athletes.
Yes.
I know that inside out and backwards. I had a college cheerleader that's now graduated as an entrepreneur. She's probably upstairs now. And I have a daughter who's a competitive figure skater.
Got it.
I do that. And I'm like, I talk to them. I build big old audience. I build up thousands of people. They love me. Every day I got to make my video and all that stuff. Unless they can understand the next step or I can make it monetize or time-wise.
Yep.
How do we?
Of course.
I know you're smiling right now. So like these are these two separate things?
No. So my whole strategy is this, whether it's popular
Hopefully
or not.
Recording this.
Yes. My whole strategy is I don't care. I'll tell, this is the real thing. And anyone can follow me and see that I do this. I talk to people. I get them in my world. I'm giving to them too, though, all the time. This is not a take thing. I'm giving to them constantly. I give free things away all the time. I'm having fun with my audience. I'm attracting my person into my world. And then when I have something I want to offer, I'm going to propose it out there to them. And they're going, and I'll bring this up. Let me give you a real-time example. My audience followed me through a whole gut health journey. I didn't know what was wrong with my blood sugar. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I ended up in the emergency room. I shared all this because it's real content happening. I found a solution. I found out that I had a gut biome issue and I actually had parasites. It was like a whole thing. No, I'm not a parasite expert, nor am I a gut health expert, but I saw an opportunity there. So I'm like, okay, who is the gut health expert that just helped me? And what does she offer? And I did a ginormous collab with her, which was fabulous. My audience was already enrolled in the story. So I introduced them to her. We did a joint masterclass together, which was super helpful to the people that wanted to learn this. We put them into her program. I don't offer that, but I was a bridge for that, which was lucrative for all of us. And it helped them too.
So you built an audience. No, forgive me, built it. You connected with a group of people. Yes. It's a better way to put it. I don't think it's not an audience. You connected with a group of people, and then you found something they were interested in.
Yes.
But you didn't find something they were interested in and then built the audience. You didn't do it backwards.
No.
You actually made certain people were listening and found out what they wanted.
That's
then
right.
you seek out
Yes.
what it is. Like you didn't. This is so interesting. It's so congruent. I watched you blink 3 times. Like you went back in your mind. So basically, when you originally built this brand, or when you really decided to share who you are with the world, I think that's a better way to put it than brand.
Right.
Because you're not a brand. You are.
I just share.
You're share. When you decided to share originally with people, you didn't have a product to sell.
No. And I have many products now, and I don't always sell mine. Just to be clear, like I don't think my fat loss program is the answer to everybody's problem all the time.
Okay.
Like I think it's an amazing fat loss program. My Total Body Thrive can crush anyone. It's a great program. But is that the answer for people struggling with gut health? No. My audience has a real need for gut health. I just shared walking through that. So I could either create a gut health program or I can go find the expert that has it. So it doesn't always have to be my thing. I'm the facilitator. I'm the connector of it.
Why do you think people put on the weight to start with? Why'd you put on the weight?
I think this is going to come off super controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway.
The show is called Average Sucks.
I think it definitely is a depression thing, part of it. It's a self-hate thing in a lot of ways. Okay. Because I'm not denying that there's circumstances. Obviously, there's genetic components, there's disease, there's all kinds of things that get in our way. I've been in all the circumstances. But we tend to, as a society, or I tend to, and the people I work with tend to, it feels good to be in a victim state. It feels good to be in, this is why this is wrong with me. This is why this happened to me. And this sucks. And what I want people to realize is that makes you feel good momentarily, but that doesn't change your life. Once you decide that, I call it false assumed truth. I say I kill fat. Once you decide you're not going to let those false assumed truths that your diagnosis or your genetics or what someone told you is going to stop you, and you get empowered and get out of victim mentality and you take that back on, your whole life will change and you release the weight.
So you give people, this is a real gift that you give. You give people an opportunity to join a different community. So they have people in their life that maybe support them for being overweight or tell them that it'll be okay or tell them they look nice and everything will be fine.
That's right.
So you use social media again to offer an alternative community of a different way of thinking.
Yes.
And when you enroll in your class and they take one of your classes or they learn social media or whatever it is that you're offering, you're giving people a secondary community that is different than the one they were born with, the one they currently live in.
That's right. That's with everything that I do. Gives people, I get everybody to live in, I get you to live in possibility.
Escape.
Yeah, I get you to live in possibility. And it's not that, I teach nutrition and workouts, but that's not the answer. I'm going to change your way of thinking first.
Yep.
And so you can see that it's possible for you, because you don't want to just do another weight loss program, another workout, another nutrition plan. If you don't change the belief in possibility and you don't believe it's possible for yourself and you don't kill the fat, the false assumed truths, then it is very challenging. And that's why other programs don't work. That's why you lose motivation. That's why you feel like you can't get ahead. But once you shift that, I help people release weight, not lose it, because I don't want you to find it again. Once you release the weight, your whole life opens up. Because I will tell you right now, if you are not successful in your life at other areas, a big part of that is your body. And when you get that in control and you get healthy there, it opens up everything for you.
It's fascinating. I was out skating the other day, and it's so easy to just go take a nap in the middle of the event or anything. And buddy and I went to the gym. We broke out 52 cards, and we did. You ever done the card workout? It's crazy. So the reason I'm bringing this up is it changed my whole psychology in a matter of minutes. I was tired. I drove with a lot of stuff going on. And we just broke out these cards, and like basically it was a deck of 52 cards. And if you got a jack, if you got a spade, you did a burpee. If you got a diamond, you did a push-up. We picked all, and you had to do the amount that are on there, and you kept on flipping cards. 10. So you did 144 different sets of everything. 30 minutes later, both of our psychologies changed. We had more energy, couldn't sleep that night. What I'm realizing is when I invited my friend to do that with me, I'm doing what you're doing, and I believe that you figured out social media. We're offering people an opportunity to have a new friend with a different way of thinking. Come join us over here. So what I'm realizing your entire business is you want to offer people an alternative to their current reality.
Oh, I love that.
That is your business.
That is that.
You're offering business owners an alternative way. We'll give you a copy of that, but that is all you're offering people. It's an alternative to your current thing. So every day you're going to get up and go to work, or take 10 minutes. Watch what I'm up to.
Yeah.
Here's what I've done. Join me over here and make it interesting enough that you can actually then watch someone else do it. So you're giving someone a chance to do it themselves by giving someone to believe in it.
So good. Yeah,
that's your business.
That's what I do.
That's your marketing strategy.
I love it.
You're giving somebody an opportunity to believe in themselves through you. It's like watching Star Wars and thinking I have the Force, right? I watched The Matrix. I think I could bend time, right? You're doing that every day of the week.
Because people come at me all the time with their reasons. Like, I had 4 injuries.
They come at you or to you?
Well, they come. Sorry, I forgot who I'm talking to.
Come at you. We're fighting.
They come to me.
I'm from Jersey.
In the last few years, I had a lot of injuries: a torn bicep, ruptured disc, injury after injury, a lot of things. And every time the injury happened, I would have that conversation with myself initially, like, "Is this bringing me down? Is this the problem?" And then I would watch myself shift out of that into the possibility. And I shared that with others. And it was amazing to watch people's mindset shift around that, because they wanted to see me taken down with it too. Like, because people want to see that happen. They were like, "Oh, you just haven't had this happen yet," or "You haven't had that happen yet."
So your haters are there as the protagonists in your model to remind people, this is great. So they're the protagonists to come in to be the old you, to actually show people, no, that's not true. So this is really cool. Like, I'm literally just understanding social media. Thank you, because I believe we'll get as we're rolling, finishing this up here, is all social media is an opportunity for people to socially express what is capable and possible in the world.
That's right.
And show them there's a ladder, there's a way. That's what we do, right?
That's right.
As marketers and business owners.
Yep.
That's what you teach people. There's more to it than that, right?
Yes, but that's in a nutshell. That's what we do.
That's fantastic. True. So give me in the final thoughts here. Give me like your last thoughts on this. What would you say to an entrepreneur right now in any aspect of life? You can go after health, you can go after marketing, go after anything. If I said the last 3 minutes of this show is dedicated to them, what advice and what would you do for them in their business?
Well, just like you're here, you're successful at something right now. You're successful at something. But what I want you to realize is what made you successful at whatever you're successful at is you decided you would be, and you went after and took those actions. So whether you're here because you want to listen about improving your social media or your body or whatever it is, it always starts with that decision and that belief that you can. So it goes back to that possibility too. So when people, even you, earlier today, you said, I just don't have time or I don't know how, that is also a false assumed truth.
Yep.
You could decide that social media is going to crush it for you in an easy, fun way.
Yes.
Or you could decide that you're going to be masterful at it without it being challenging for you. So I want you to know, listening, that everything is just a decision away.
That's fantastic. This is a phenomenal show. Like, this is incredible what we learned here. So is there any other thoughts or any other ideas you want to share with everybody?
I mean, I don't know.
You
what
and I
to say
could go on
around
for
you.
hours.
Sometimes I get tripped up with words around you though, because you're the
Don't have to
wordsmith. You're
do
so
that.
good.
Yeah, I'm not going to be judging you
You're so
any of that.
I get in my head on, am I saying the right thing, because I've got the expert
That's
right
my
here.
power. That's how
It
that
is your
works.
power.
So I really appreciate you coming out. I know
Thank
you've got
you,
again,
Michael.
you want to brag about it earlier. You got more shows to do here in a little bit. So I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you taking the time to share with us here today. So how does somebody just connect with you? Where does it start?
I guess start with my Instagram is Natalie Jill Fit. You can just go over there. I always have all kinds of free things I give away there that gets you on my list so I can communicate with you. So if you literally go to any of my posts, let's start with, if you want fat loss and you want help, just comment the word flat belly under any of my posts on Instagram and then check your inbox and I'll get you on, get you some good stuff.
That's fantastic. I love that. Even right now, you just did it as real as possible. So appreciate you coming out and super excited to have you on the show. And this is really, really powerful. We're going to do this again.
Michael.
There's so many things. And folks, as you're watching this either online or you're listening to this, take a second. I've never asked this before. Send me an email. Send it directly to mike@michaelbernoff.com. Just send me there because it's easier to, type in mike@michaelbernoff.com. Send me an email and just tell me like what else you'd want me to pick Natalie's brain about, what else you wanted me to go deeper on being healthier, living incredibly in your midlife, or how to deal with teens, stuff that she's covering, all kinds of stuff. I'd love to hear what it is, or marketing, or anything you want to know social media wise. Do take a time, take a second, send me that email. I will send it to her and we will do a secondary show. So appreciate you having you on.
Thank you,
and I'm going to
Michael.
say that's not a wrap. I'd say this is just the start. So
Thank you so
great
much.
work, my friend.
Thank you.
Great work. Well, hey guys, I want to take a quick opportunity right now and remind you that Average Sucks is not just an incredible podcast. It is a way of life. It is a way of being, and the title of my best-selling book that shows you step by step. I literally walk through exactly how in my life and in the lives of our incredible students, I showed them how to live an above average life, whether it's in your business, whether it's with your finance, with your health, any area of your life that you're looking to scream those words, average sucks, get to the next level, get out of your box in life. This book will show you exactly how to do it. Get your copy at averagesucks.com or Amazon or wherever books are sold. Get your copy right away and get out there and start living a life that screams average sucks. Get the book.